Hey Dashka, can you tell the world what's happening right now?
To whom?
The world. Tell the world what's happening right now.
Hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well.
Hope you're doing well, world.
Yeah. So our flight got delayed, and also it's gotta depart from different cities. So we're heading to Ulaanbaatar city now.
So basically, what happened is we were supposed to be flying back to Ulaanbaatar for a day of rest and charging, but our flight got canceled and changed to another city, like a 7-hour drive away on gravel, bumpy roads. So we're going on the gravel, bumpy roads. And then our flight's not until 3 in the morning, so no rest day, straight into the Central Valley. But I guess let's bump along these Mongolian roads and hopefully go catch a flight.
My favorite thing about Mongolians is how casual they are about misadventure. Like, when our drivers found out they had to drive an extra 7 hours north, they were like, whatevs. And eventually, when our guide told us that our 3 a.m. flight had been delayed to 7 a.m., there was no surprise at all. So we bumped along the west of Mongolia for one last time. We found some pavement in the north. We danced through the streets of a town called Ulaanbaatar. And eventually, after a little bit of sleep, we made it to our flight.
Okay, so there's they apparently sent 2 planes. There's another plane right here, but we're boarding right now. The original plan was to do the hardcore Western Mongolia section of this trip, then go back to Ulaanbaatar, spend a night in like a 4-star luxury hotel, relaxing, drinking champagne, and having bubble baths and all that fun stuff. But now, because of this delay and because needing to drive to basically the Russian border, I'm gonna show you on the map where we are. Because of that, we've lost that day. And so now we're flying back to Ulaanbaatar and then jumping right back in jeeps and going off on our Central Mongolia mission. So we lost a day of luxury, back to Gur camping tonight. Let's board this plane and head east.
What have I done? Mistakes that we become, looking for love where love is gone. Find out what it means to face the world alone.
We made it. Central Valley coming up. You excited, John?
I'm excited, let's go.
Let's hit it.
We landed back in Ulaanbaatar, danced the Macarena, hopped on board our rides, passed our good buddy Chinggis Khan, and headed down Mongolia's terrifying highway towards the Central Valley. Oh, and I forgot to mention, sadly, we're without our UAV 452s. For now.
Okay, so we made it to our Gur camp for the night. It is in the Central Valley, or on the way to the Orkhon Valley, Central Mongolia. This area is definitely way busier than the West. In the West, we didn't see tourists. I think maybe we saw 2 the whole week we were in the West. So far, there's just been so many more. It's also way more comfortable. The Gur camps here have things like picnic tables and beds. We were sleeping on the floor for a whole week. There's probably an outhouse somewhere. We were pooping in the field for a whole week. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit nicer in terms of the quality of living, but doesn't have the same huge drama that the West did. But still, it is beautiful. And especially when we get to the Orkhon Valley, it's gonna be beautiful. But for tonight, I don't know what the plan is. Maybe some star photography, or there's some hills over here. Maybe we'll go on a quick walk as a group to see if we can find a composition or a photo. I don't know, but we're getting some solar power because we haven't had a charge yet. So the solar panels are going, getting some batteries charged, and then we'll see what we do for sunset.
After butchering one of the 3 words in Mongolian I actually know,
Samba no. Samba no. Samba no. Samba no.
Samba no.
we headed out like an oversized boy band for some landscape photography in the hills surrounding our camp. The landscapes here are pretty simple, but I think they offer a little bit of that subtle beauty that's such a test and potentially a lesson learned to the skills of any landscape photographer.
So I think I kind of took the bullet for the team to check up at the highest point and see what it looked like. Whereas everybody went down to like a sure thing spot. I'm just climbing the ridge and yeah, there's no light. It's beautiful up here, but there's no light. There was a spot just farther down that's better, but yeah, the sky's nice, so hopefully it catches some light and can make a photo. If not, it's always sunrise. So in the end, I think there's actually a shot here, but it was definitely a little bit of work. There's all these rocks here and leading lines, and then there's the big outcrop out that way with kind of the prairies and the rolling hills in the background. But there's a couple of us, because it's a photography trip, up here, and it was kind of just hard to find a right foreground with leading lines that I wasn't in other people's way, because I let everybody else set up first. And then I found whichever of their photos I preferred best, and then I moved them out of the way and I set my tripod up there. So I found the best spot, and it's up here a little bit higher. There's kind of two options here. One was to get low and have this rocky outcrop above the horizon so you could tell it was a rocky outcrop, or you could get higher and have it below the horizon. Down kind of on the flats, it was right on the horizon, it wasn't working. So I've come up here and there's beautiful rocks leading through. There's a couple of really cool shrubs in there that really stand out, and then you've got this tree over here. Obviously, I think it would have been best to be up here like a half an hour ago when these rocks were glowing, take one photo and then wait a little bit later and get the sky with a bunch of color. But I think this is gonna work. Just gotta wait and hope the sky gets a little bit of color.
As we wait for the sky to twist, here's a quick montage of me standing on rocks courtesy of Greg Snell. Here's me on a rock. Here's another angle of me on a rock. Oh, and one more for good measure. This is the back of my head, and that's the screen with my image. It works. Actually, I love this photo. There's a lot going on, and I think it manages to keep the attention of the viewer, which is kind of the goal of landscape photography. So, totally content, we hiked back down the hill to camp. And check out this transition. I'm closing the door to my gur. Oops, time to wake up again.
Just rolled out of the gur. We have beds in the Central Valley, which is so nice. And I'm beelining towards a spot that I thought I saw yesterday coming back, where there might be like a pretty cool tree up on the rocks. But I'm a little bit late for sunrise, I think, because it's probably 15 minutes up the hill and it's 15 minutes till sunrise. So gotta kind of move. So we climbed all the way up to this tree that I spotted yesterday on the way down. And I want you guys to look at the sky. There's cloud everywhere. Everywhere, everywhere. Except for behind the tree. So this shot really kind of needed some clouds. So it might be a bit of a bust, but I think I'm gonna get the camera set up, try to build a composition, and hopefully some of these clouds move a little bit, but it looks like I just got some free exercise for no photo. So this might be the definition of stubborn, because a beautiful cloud there, some pink clouds there, some beautiful light starting to happen this way, big huge vistas of the gurs and horses, and I'm still stuck on the tree because that's what I woke up to photograph. And even if it doesn't work, I'm gonna photograph it. The reason it doesn't work is because of this rock. This one rock is sitting there, and the perspective of it makes it look like it's almost as big as this tree. And it's frustrating because it's so close to working. You got these 3 lines that lead straight into the tree. And if that rock wasn't there, you'd have this beautiful kind of simple image of this tree within the rocks. But that rock's distracting. I'm not a Photoshop wizard, and I don't like photoshopping things because I'm lazy and not a wizard. But if I was, I would just remove this rock and I would have this image. But I'm trying to make it work anyway. I've got a 2-stop grad ND filter up to hold in the light on the top. And then I'm going F11, 30 seconds, going 30 seconds with the 6-stop ND there. Just trying to get some movement in these clouds to, you know, kind of make something out of nothing. And yeah, it's still kind of nothing. But maybe when the light hits, maybe.
One of the hardest things about doing landscape photography on YouTube is you often don't know what's going to turn out once you do the edit. So while I'm okay with this photo, and do you prefer color? Or black and white? It's the photo I took almost as an afterthought that ended up being my favorite of the day. I mean, look at this sexy tree. Bow chicka wow wow.
So that didn't happen. Basically, the light got trapped behind some clouds, and then when the light did come out, the clouds weren't behind the tree anymore. So yeah, it didn't really work, but it's still a really cool location. What I really love about Central Mongolia is I think it could be kind of not anywhere, but it could be like Central Asia, I guess, because it is. It could be Central Europe, it could be, you know, the prairies of North America. And when you have a group of participants like this, it's really nice to show them that you can make photos basically anywhere. You don't need to go to epic places like Iceland or Lofoten Islands or Patagonia to get really cool photos. You can come to places like this that just have hills and some rocks and make some cool photos. So it's been good with the group here, and this is now the second last Mongolia video, I think. We're gonna head to the Orkhon Valley today. That's where the next video is coming from. The Orkhon Valley is one of my favorite places for photography in Mongolia. Rolling hills, a waterfall, horses. Yeah, it's gonna be good. So I'll see you guys there, and that's it. Peace.